Hey everyone, Shakarez or Killbot here, and welcome to yet another installment of the Analysis Corner. Today, I wanted to talk about the importance of magic penetration in a mage's kit. Before we start, I'd just like to mention that in the article there's a more in-depth explanation on how to calculate penetration and reduction. Magic resistance reduction sources like Abyssal Scepter are calculated before any type of penetration, like Void Staff. Just wanted to make this clear as a lot of you asked me if my math wasn't wrong in my last video. It wasn't. For today's episode, I'm going to use 3 recent games for footage and to illustrate the importance of magic penetration. Unfortunately, I cannot use OGN content on YouTube as I'll get a copyright claim, so that part will only be on the article, with a nice GIF to go alongside it. Onto the video, and as some of you know, I've been working on World Pro for a long time now. One of the pros I've had the pleasure to work with was Voyboy. One thing he always taught me was for a lot of the AP mids, when you're ahead, get an early Haunting Guise alongside your Sorcerer's Shoes. Why? Well, flat penetration in theory is good in any stage of the game, not only because of its effectiveness early in game, but also because of its synergy with percentage penetration. However, it's looked at mainly for early to mid-game stages of the game, because an item like Void Staff will only be stronger when an opponent starts stacking magic resistance. Having multiple sources of magic penetration and reduction will force your opponent to itemize against you. Either that, or they'll be taking increased damage from you. The other common sources of penetration, alongside Haunting Guise, Sorcerer's Shoes, and Void Staff, will be the runes, 7.8 if running Magic Pen and 5.8 if running Hybrid Pen, and masteries. Devastating Strikes grant 6% hybrid penetration with 3 points invested. So let's start with the first game, which was SK versus Millennium. So Kerp is on Xerath this game, and we're in what you could call mid-game. 31 minutes in, and nearly in late game, Millennium is slightly behind in gold, but Kerp is 306 with 300 CS, meaning he's a very rich Xerath. He buys a Haunting Guise right after his Void Staff. Right at this moment, Candy Panda on Lucian has 60 magic resistance, and Jesus on Twisted Fate has 42 magic resistance. However, as long as they're around Braum, they'll have the extra 20 magic resistance from Locket's Aura. Right here, you can see Candy Panda getting chunked by Xerath's spells. This is because for Xerath, Lucian only has 11 magic resistance, meaning Xerath's damage is only getting reduced by 9.9%. SK Gaming recognized the problem that the Xerath is going to be, and both Jesus and Candy Panda immediately invest into a Negatron Cloak. A few moments later, Freddy122 gets caught and blown up by Xerath. He only had Mercs as his source of magic resistance, so his mere 67 plus 20 from the Aura, so 87 magic resistance, is actually 15 versus Xerath. The point of this is that Kerp's heavy investment into magic penetration forced SK Gaming into heavily investing into magic resistance, and even after they did, most of the team was still getting hit for ridiculous amounts of damage. The other example I wanted to pick up was the Rocket vs Gambit Gaming game in the 10th week of the summer split. Yeah, I know I picked a rather one-sided game, but it still proves my point. First off, notice the heavy magic penetration build on Elise. Jankos has 6 hybrid penetration marks, he's using Devastating Strikes in the offense tree, and has 30 flat penetration from Sorcerer's Shoes and Haunting Guise. Elise has low AP ratios, but her Neurotoxin and Venomous Bite are abilities that deal damage based on current and missing health, so penetration will heavily enhance these abilities. In this clip, and despite not grabbing the kill, NIQ gets heavily chunked because Jankos is reducing his magic resistance from 67 to 29. That's not what I want to focus on though. Later into the game, Xaxis purchases an Abyssal Scepter. Now Rocket is running a very heavy AP comp. Besides Maokai, Elise, and Fizz, who deal primarily magic damage, Rocket has Morgana, who is a somewhat AP-oriented support, and Kog'Maw, who is perhaps the AD carry who deals the most magic damage alongside Tristana. First off, remember that this is reduction and not penetration, meaning the aura will come into account before anything else. An item like Abyssal Scepter synergizes extremely well with a champion like Maokai or Gragas, melee AP champions who use their 700 range aura to their kit's full extent. In this teamfight, you'll notice that Diamond gets chunked very hard by just Elise and Maokai despite having 121 magic resistance. Elise is actually hitting him as if he had 61 magic resist. Kog'Maw and Fizz then promptly finish off a very squishy bug with no armor and a lot of reduced magic resistance. The conclusion I want you guys to take from this game, or any other game with multiple AP sources, is that you can help your team deal more damage with reduction items like Abyssal Scepter. It's a good pickup if it goes along well with your champion's kit and it benefits your team greatly. That's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the short episode covering magic penetration. And as always, I'll see you guys in the Rift. Shakarez signing out.